Level 1. The lookout. You're 16. You have a plastic chair, a prepaid phone, and a view of the main road into the neighborhood. That's your entire job. Watch, text, say nothing to anyone. There are 2 codes. A number means military convoy. A letter means rivals. You don't ask why the codes are what they are. You just memorize them. The money is 800 pesos a week. It's more than your uncle makes at the factory. You tell your mother you're helping a neighbor with deliveries. The men who work above you don't acknowledge you. You're furniture. You're a pair of eyes attached to a phone. But you watch them. You learn the rhythms. Which police cars slow down and which ones keep moving. Which ones stop to collect envelopes from the taco stand on the corner. One afternoon, a green truck you don't recognize rolls through. You freeze for 4 seconds before you text. 4 seconds is too long. A man you've never met appears beside you before the truck even turns the corner. He doesn't raise his voice. He speaks quietly, which is somehow worse. You don't freeze again. Level 2. The runner. You're 19. Someone decided you're reliable. That's the word that gets used. Reliable. Now you move packages. Small ones at first. A backpack handed to you outside a bus station. You take it to an address 6 blocks away. You hand it to a man who doesn't look at your face. You walk away. 1,500 pesos. After a month of small packages, they give you a car. A white sedan with a cracked bumper. The panels under the back seat have been modified. You can feel the difference in weight when you drive it. Your route is 40 kilometers. Every traffic light feels like a countdown. You make it every time. You develop a routine. You dress like a student. You keep the speed limit. You don't play music. You watch mirrors without appearing to watch them. You become invisible by practicing it. You're making 12,000 pesos a month. You stop counting how many runs you've done. That's when you realize you're not scared anymore. You understand this is dangerous. But it no longer feels dangerous. And that difference is the most dangerous thing of all. Level 3. The collector. You're 22. They hand you a list and a pistol. The list has addresses, business names, amounts, pickup dates. The job is simple. You show up. You collect the envelope. You bring it back. Most people have the envelope ready before you knock. They've done this before. They know how it works. A hardware store owner greets you like you're a regular customer. A pharmacist slides the envelope under the counter without making eye contact. But one week, a laundry owner tells you business has been difficult. He needs more time. You tell him you understand. You leave. You come back the following night with 2 other men. You don't explain yourself. You don't threaten him. You just make sure he understands the conversation is over. The week after, he has the envelope ready. Double the amount. You're making 22,000 pesos a week. You move your mother to a better neighborhood. She asks you what you do. You say logistics. She doesn't push. You think that means she trusts you. You understand much later that it means she already knows and can't afford to say so. Level 4. The cell leader. You're 25. You have 11 men under you. None of them are older than you. Most of them are scared of you, which means you're doing it right. You control 3 blocks of a mid-sized city near the state border. Your job is supply and defense. The cartel delivers 60 kilograms of product to you each month. You move it to your distributors. You send 70% of what you earn back up the chain. You keep the rest. You're clearing $45,000 a month. A rival crew attempts to move a shipment through your territory without permission. This is not a misunderstanding. It's a test. Your response is immediate and total. You don't wait for orders from above. You handle it. You lose 1 man. They lose 3 and their access to the route. After that, people in your network stop questioning your decisions. But the pressure from above never reduces. The regional boss wants more volume, more money. He doesn't ask how you produce it. He only notices when you don't. You stop sleeping more than 4 hours. You start testing your own men. You leave small inconsistencies in your communications to see who talks. 2 men fail the test. You don't punish them with violence. You cut them out completely and they vanish from the network. Where they go is not your concern. Your identity as a person is evaporating. What remains is operational, efficient, cold. Level 5, the regional operator. You oversee 4 cells in 2 cities. You don't handle product directly anymore. You manage people who handle product. You manage people who manage people who handle product. You think in terms of flow, supply chains, pressure points, risk exposure. The cartel asks you to take a district currently held by a rival faction. You spend 6 weeks gathering information before you move. You identify which local officials can be purchased. You find out where the rival leader's family lives, not to harm them, to know what leverage exists. When you finally move, it takes 11 days. The district changes hands without a single large engagement. Precision over spectacle. You're generating $180,000 a month personally. You also haven't seen your children in 3 weeks. They live in a different city under a different name with a woman who tells them their father travels for work. This is technically true. The DEA has a file on you. You've seen a photograph of the file through a contact inside the Attorney General's office. The file has your real name, your approximate location, and 3 photographs taken from surveillance vehicles you never noticed. You stop using the same car twice in 1 week. Level 6, the plaza boss. You control the state. Every shipment entering your territory is approved by you. Every bribe paid to a government official flows through your network. Every act of significant violence requires either your order or your sanction. You haven't touched a package of product in 7 years. You live in a compound in the mountains with a staff of 14. There are cameras at every angle. There are men with rifles at the perimeter. There are dogs that have not been given names because names create attachment, and attachment creates risk. Your meetings are structured like corporate briefings. Reports, numbers, projections. You make decisions the way a general makes decisions. From a distance. With information. You cannot attend your daughter's birthday. You cannot visit the grave of your father. You cannot walk into a restaurant and sit by a window. You are worth more than most politicians in this country will earn in 10 lifetimes. And you cannot perform the smallest ordinary human act without it becoming a security calculation. The paranoia is not irrational. 3 of the last 6 plaza bosses in your organization were betrayed by men inside their own circle. You think about this regularly. You think about it every time you look at the men closest to you. Level 7, the cartel leader. You run everything. Your organization generates $4 billion annually. You have operations across 9 countries. You have officials at every level of government either on payroll or compromised. You have military-grade equipment. You have intelligence networks that rival state agencies. The U.S. government has offered $15 million for information leading to your capture. You have not slept in the same location for more than 72 hours in 4 years. You have had 2 surgical procedures to alter your appearance. Your biometric data in the government system belongs to a man who died in a car accident outside Hermosillo in 2019. You meet with the leaders of 2 other major organizations twice a year. The meetings happen at neutral locations that rotate. You negotiate territory, pricing, supply agreements. You speak calmly. You shake hands. You mean none of it, and neither do they, but the arrangement holds because the alternative is too expensive for everyone. You cannot retire. This is the part that took you the longest to understand. There is no exit. You know too much. You are too valuable dead and too dangerous alive. The men below you would feel unsafe knowing you exist freely somewhere. The men above you stopped existing years ago. This is not a position. It is a sentence. Level 8. The Ghost. They found you because someone you loved made one phone call they shouldn't have. You didn't run. By the time you knew, there was nowhere left to go. Now it's a concrete cell in a federal facility. 23 hours of isolation daily. Meals through a slot in the door. Fluorescent light that never changes. No outdoor sound. No contact. You had $3 billion. You had 500 men willing to die on your order. You had politicians who called you before they called their own families. Now you have a concrete ceiling and 16 hours a day to replay every decision that brought you here. You think about the 16-year-old sitting outside a convenience store with a prepaid phone. You think about the first envelope you picked up. You think about the first time you made a decision that couldn't be undone. You think about all of it. There is nothing else to do. Somewhere in a neighborhood in Culiacan, a kid with a plastic chair and a phone is watching the road. Someone handed him 2 codes this morning and told him to stay alert. He thinks this is temporary. He thinks this is just money while he figures out the next thing. He has no idea what the next thing is, but he will.